coming to his door at 11:30 at night, shots fired in his neighborhood, but the cops did not identify themselves while they were at his door.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
This story I wanted to go more in depth on because this should really upset you, especially if you're a conservative, type person, because this story about Ray King, Republican District Attorney for Madison County, Alabama, Rob Broussard, has effectively nullified the Second Amendment, in my view. And I think, when you hear that might sound like a reach, but I don't think it is based on the facts of the case. And so here's what they are. Early this year, Ray King, a janitor at a local elementary school, the school that I went to, I don't know if he was janitor at that point. I don't remember him, but the elementary school that I went to is where he worked as a janitor. He was shot dead by cops in his own home after mistakenly showing up to the wrong house because they said he had a gun. Broussard announced last week, Broussard is the Madison County District Attorney, the results of his 9-month investigation. This happened back in January. We're now hearing about the results of his investigation in November. He claims that there are no charges that he can bring against the cops who killed him. He further said that he's not making a judgment on the validity of a potential civil trial, but that wasn't what Ray King's mom was interested in. And let's listen to this mostly, pretty good segment from WAFF here, and I really appreciated the interview with King's mother. Let's play that.
A day met with disappointment for Ray King's mother, Ruby King.
I did not want no money. I wanted justice for my son.
After a long investigation, the conclusion, a tragic accident. Madison County District Attorney Rob Broussard determining Ray King didn't do anything wrong the night of January 5th, but neither did the deputies who shot him. The DA confirming deputies responded to the wrong home on Dixon Road in Hazel Green for a domestic violence call with shots fired. They arrived to the scene without their vehicle lights and identifying themselves as deputies.
They did not announce.
Pause that for a second. Yeah. I just want to emphasize the facts of what happened on that night when Ray King was killed in his home by cops because he had a gun. The cops were called to that area on a domestic violence call with shots fired. That means that in all likelihood, Ray King heard shots fired as well, right? Those gunshots are loud, and if you're in the area, if you're on the same street as a gun being fired, you're probably going to hear it. They went to the wrong house. They say that somebody else gave them the wrong house. So they're saying it's not their fault that they went to the wrong house. Whether that's true or not, who knows? They didn't come to his door at midnight, right? They're coming to his door at 11:30 at night, shots fired in his neighborhood, on his doorstep, no police lights, and the way that they phrase it in this part of the clip is kind of strange, but they do clarify later. But the cops did not identify themselves while they were at his door. That's the stage here for what happens next. Let's keep playing the clip.
Herself or nothing. He still did not know that they was out there. It was at 11:30 at night.
Family members told us King went outside thinking there was a burglar. He was armed with a 9mm. The district attorney says based on the evidence, King didn't know law enforcement was on his property and he was acting within his right to defend himself.
If I would have went out here and killed somebody, they would have put me under the jail.
As Broussard agrees, though tragic, the incident doesn't warrant criminal action.
It's a horrible accident as far as the way everything happened.
He says deputies have a right to defend themselves, especially if they believe they're in danger.
They think they're at the right house. And now some guy comes out and the guy has tracked one of the deputies and has the gun raised that deputy. From their perspective, under criminal law, it's justified.
It's not right for him to walk, and my child can't walk. My child can't even come back. My child's gone. He took my child away from me.
Now, Broussard clarified here, the only thing he can look at is the criminal side. So, in other words, the only way this matter can be looked at further is in civil court.
Well, Matthew, what did Broussard have to say about how deputies approached King's home, not identifying themselves?
Yeah, well, he said that video did show that. It proved that those deputies showed up to the house, did not identify themselves. And I asked him why, and here's what he had to say.
They call it a tactical approach, meaning there's a dangerous guy with a gun in here. We're not going to park out front. We're not going to announce. We got to try to get the jump on this. But like I say, that's more of a police procedure question.
So in other words, it's not Broussard's job to determine if those procedures should be used by deputies. His job here, his only responsibility, is to determine if they had the right to pull the trigger. Reporting live in Huntsville, Matthew King, 48, on your side.
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
A total abdication of his responsibility, in my view. And so it's important for folks to know that under our district attorney's interpretation of criminal law, it is completely fine for a police officer to bang on your door in the middle of the night, if you haven't done anything, unannounced, with no lights, and kill you if you exercise your supposed right to arm yourself after hearing gunshots in your neighborhood and now somebody at the door. Not only does he claim that it's not murder, right? Because I can understand that even from a legal case, that it is not premeditated murder in the first degree or whatever. You know, these folks, they didn't get up, I don't believe, in the morning or even get out of the car that night thinking, I want to kill Ray King, okay? So I would understand not murder in the first degree. But to claim there's nothing here, it's not manslaughter, it's not negligent homicide, nothing like that, is absolutely absurd. Because as his mother rightly pointed out, there is no shot, there's zero chance that if the exact same circumstances happened, except that the killers were not this, special little group of people, law enforcement, there's no shot that you or I would get away scot-free under this set of circumstances. If I come because I'm worried or something about my neighbor and I knock on his door in the middle of the night and he opens with a gun and I shoot him before he shoots or anything else, there's no chance, zero chance, that you or I get away with that scot-free. And also, just to mention for the record, Broussard here claims that King's gun was pointed at the officers. So I just want to get on the record and also, he has a right to do that. It's his home, people banging on his house. It's his right to point a gun at people banging at his door in the middle of the night after he hears shots fired, okay? That's like not an unreasonable thing to do. But Broussard makes that claim that the gun was not only in his hands, but it was pointed at the door, at the officers. Ray King's sister claims, from reporting at the time, that her Ring security camera showed that he did not, in fact, raise his gun. He simply had it in his hand. One way to clear up that confusion would be to release the body camera footage, but, us subjects, us peons, we don't deserve to know the evidence by which those in authority decide to or not if the cops have a right to kill us in our homes. We don't have a right to see that evidence.
Apparently.
So there we go. Total abdication of responsibility. And, the idea that because it's in the cops' procedure, that means it's not subject to legal and criminal scrutiny is also ridiculous. Because think about that again in literally any other profession. You or I could not get away with a similar circumstance and we say, hey, judge, look, yeah, I killed this guy dead in his home, but my employee handbook said that this was okay, right? In no other profession is that okay. It's just a really, really disgusting state of affairs, and just another long line of evidence that the cops, here in Huntsville specifically, remember that this police department still defends a convicted murderer, but across the country, police officers need to be brought to heel. I mean, this is just insane. Insane stuff that we're seeing.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.